Now give me a job that I can deliver. Give me a dream I won't need to forget. And I'll stay. Yes, I'll stay.
So you can see that we can take a few Oreos off this stack, spend them in ways that the American people have told us over and over that they want spent, and still have plenty left to deal with these guys. But you know, people are going to say, well, you know, like, what are you going to cut? We have troops in Iraq that don't have body armor. They're driving around in Humvees that don't have armor, and their families are on food stamps. Well, the programs that we're talking about cutting, shifting money from the Pentagon, are fund obsolete weapon systems designed during the Cold War to fight the Soviet Union, no longer in business. We continue to spend $20 billion a year to maintain our nuclear arsenal. Now, I've got a little demonstration here that involves dropping some BBs in a can, and I think this gives you a good sense of exactly what that money buys us. I'm going to drop one BB in this can. Oh, I see somebody with... All right. That's equivalent to a nuclear weapon 15 times the size of the one that destroyed Hiroshima, Japan, and killed over 200,000 people. Here's 6 more. That's enough to destroy all of Russia. Now, here's America's entire nuclear arsenal. Oops, arsenal. So that's 10,000 BBs. That's the equivalent of 150,000 Hiroshima-sized bombs, and that's enough to destroy the world 10 times over. But we, a true majority, look at that as an opportunity because our military advisors have told us that we can cut that nuclear arsenal budget in half, still have enough bombs left to kill everybody on Earth 4 times over, and that would be enough, and save $10 billion, which you can see would go a long way towards funding the kinds of programs that the American people have told us repeatedly that they want funded. So the question remains, what can we do? Well, there is legislation that's going to be introduced in Congress called the Common Sense Budget Act, and that would make the kinds of spending shifts that I've shown you here today. And just as we've made it easy for you to see how the federal budget pie is cut up, or actually how the cookies stack up, and how shifting just a small percentage, about 14% of the Pentagon budget over to these things can have make a huge difference right here in our local communities. We can make it possible for you to make your voices heard. With 2 clicks of a mouse, you can tell your congressperson about the Common Sense Budget Act and ask them what they think. With your email address, we can make it possible for you to get a periodic update. We send periodic updates maybe once a month, but more importantly, give you real opportunities to affect change, and that's what's important. And besides, everybody who signs up gets this really cool pen. Now, you remember I was mentioning this pen a long time ago, maybe 10 minutes? This is no ordinary pen. This is your own personal copy of the federal budget. And you don't have to show me any money to get this baby. So, come on up. Sign up, it's free, it's easy, and everybody gets a pen, and we have pins, and we have more cookies for these little piggies over here. So thanks very much, and thank you all for being here. You guys are the real heroes. This is a great place. Thanks.
Well, are you from Iowa? Are you on tour?
I'm from Iowa for the last, I've been here for a week. Does that make me a resident?
Maybe.
Under the law, I think if I intend to come back here, I suppose I'm a resident, but no, I'm from New York.
Okay.
But this is from Burlington, Vermont. This is Ben Cohen, True Majority. And what a visual genius this is, right? I mean, how do you make the federal budget, the most complicated document in the world, easy to understand by turning it into Oreo cookies? I mean, that's...
what can I say? But it works. And everybody loves Oreos, and they stack perfectly, and that's about it.
Awesome. How'd you get involved in this?
I was walking down the street in Burlington, right, and they had asked about 500 people if they wanted to do it, and everybody turned them down, and I was the only one that said yes. I don't think that's true, is it? Can you lie on video? Can you tell that I'm lying? Is my nose getting longer?
Tell them about the other videos, or the other vehicles you've driven.
I've had some previous experience with True Majority. I drove Pants on Fire, both Pants on Fire 1 and Pants on Fire 2. Pants on Fire is a 12.5-foot statue of Uncle Sam, George Bush, I'm sorry, in a flight suit that says mission accomplished. And there are flames coming out of his legs, but it doesn't say anything about lying. It just says Pants on Fire, but all the kids know that when they see this, they go, liar, liar, Pants on Fire. We didn't say that, they did. And the second one I drove for the 7 days during the Republican National Convention, and that was wild. We were chased by and chased the Secret Service details, and Lynn Cheney and Dick Cheney and good old George, all and the delegates, especially the California delegation, were very, very well dressed and had jewels and smelled terrible perfume stuff all over from one end of New York City to the other. So we had a good time. So that was kind of an experience. Then we got busted right at the end. So
yeah. Did you end up in that big lockdown?
No, but we got stopped in the protest over Abu Ghraib on the Hudson, is what it was called, at Pier 17. And since the focus of our demonstration was not the Republicans so much anymore as it was the New York City Police Department, that's when they got pissed. And so we made our third pass down the West Side Highway. And that's when they came running out, and they surrounded us and pulled us off to the side and kept us for about 4 hours until the battery wore. So they wouldn't let us turn it off, and then so the battery wore down and just left us in the lurch. And but the media came and started filming it, and so I think that's the reason why they didn't just haul us off to jail. So then we went and we took it and we hid it, and they could never live in a very top secret place in Brooklyn, which I can tell you, but then I'd have to kill you and destroy the tape. I'm not going to do that. So I guess because, well, then there was another one, of course. So they thought, well, if I can handle the New York City Police and Secret Service with Pants on Fire, maybe I want to drive the new one at the time, which is Spanky. Now, Spanky is a completely different animal. Spanky, which was finished up about 6 weeks before the election, is a 13-foot statue made out of metal, extraordinarily heavy, of Uncle Sam with a top hat ablaze, right, sitting on a large metal chair with you-know-who, George W. Bush, over his knee. George Bush's head is this big, and a giant mechanical arm coming down like this and spanking his butt for lying to America. This thing would spank at 55 miles an hour, and it did, all throughout Ohio and Pennsylvania. And we put on about 7,500 or 8,000 miles in the last 6 weeks before the election. Most of it in Ohio, because it became really clear that that's where the fate of the world was going to be decided. And I'm telling you that we won that election. We didn't count a few votes. But anyway, that was pretty amazing. So I figured if I can do that, and it's the first time they sort of sent this thing, the creatures out with just one person and not passing it from person to person. But I guess I was the guy to drive the Oreo Man. Although this is much more sedate, I'm not in anybody's face with this. How do you make a presentation or be an advocate when all you have to do is show what the reality is, and everybody says, yeah, I want to take some of those Oreos and spend them for education and health care and energy independence and paying down the debt. Everybody wants to do that. So this is easy. I don't have to make any arguments. I don't have to get anybody's face. I say, this is the reality. What do you want to do? And everybody wants to do the right